While talking with Jeremy Boring for a video promoting Lady Ballers, Ben Shapiro drops a confession that he originally hoped to make the film a documentary about men joining women's sports for a competitive advantage by simply proclaiming they are women. He goes on to admit that it wasn't that simple and no one was willing to go through what would be required to actually compete in women's sports. The premise of the movie was just that: the wish fulfillment of 40-year-old men who seem to think they would be able to beat female athletes on the sheer basis that they are men. It leads you to get this secondhand embarrassment from the entire film. They basically missed the mark on trying to be transphobic, and it mostly comes off as early 2000s misogyny instead. I wouldn't even say it's triggering, but I'm also not really the demographic they hope to trigger. There were only 3 characters specifically satirizing liberals, and the jokes about black people were more cringe than offensive. It's unclear if the intention was to make fun of conservatives for their worldview, but it kind of comes off that way as the cast all play conservative men taking advantage of a system that only exists in their heads. It leads me to believe that the entire film was made just to shoehorn in product placements for their non-woke grievance products, which culminated in a direct 30-second literal advertisement for Jeremy's razors in the middle of the film. The Daily Wire is the epitome of the conservative grievance economy, picking an outrage people have at perceived wokeness in a product and offering a direct clone under the guise that their item is anti-woke, whatever that actually means. Jeremy's razors instead of Gillette, Jeremy's chocolate instead of Hershey's, Jeremy's Productions instead of Hollywood. Creative branding, by the way. The underlying purpose is, however, not an ideological one. It's simply grifting the outraged for their money, which is obvious in the film Lady Ballers. The Daily Wire isn't actually trying to upset anyone. They're simply saying the line, the talking point the audience has been trained to respond to, like Pavlov's dog, and doing anything else wouldn't make their viewers clap. Embarrassingly, while they're trying to criticize Hollywood for their cheesiness and lazy writing, they also pick the most Hollywood way to end the film, a big ensemble musical-like ending, and it comes off even more awkward than the rest of the film.